Hey, APSAadians, welcome to this episode of Act Up. This is the first one of the new semester. And here with me are two lovely guests. And today we're going to be talking about AAPIs and the LGBTQ community and like the intersectionality and how that works. So yeah, why don't y'all introduce yourselves?
Yeah. Hi, my name is Christine. I'm a third year kinesiology pre-PT major. I go by she, her, hers, and I am APSA's Vice President of Internal Affairs.
Very nice.
Hi. Oh, sorry. I'm Deanna, second year psychology major. This year's membership secretary for APSA, and my pronouns are also she, her, hers.
And as y'all know, my name is Joy Payumo. I'm a third year. I'm your political coordinator for this year, and my pronouns are she, her, hers. So let's just get into it. So I'm straight, and y'all are.
Yes. I identify as gay or lesbian.
Mm-hmm.
I also identify as gay/lesbian.
So clearly, like I don't have much to say on this topic because as a straight woman, it's kind of I do like have a lot of like gay friends, so I am like an ally, but I just wanted to start off by like talking about how like the beginning of your whole like your whole like this whole like journey into like realizing that you were like gay. So when did you first realize that you were gay or lesbian?
Do you want to go first, Christine?
Sure.
Okay.
So in middle school, I had this friend who identified as bisexual and very she's like very expressive in that she like when she sees boys that she likes, she'll be like boys.
Oh,
and when
wait,
she
that's
sees
me?
girls she likes, she's like ooh girls. Okay. And I at the
That's not me.
time honestly she kind of like you in that aspect. Okay, but yeah, she introduced me to like the idea of like being able to like girls in like a real life sense, I think, because like I knew it was a thing, but I didn't think that's something that I could be, you know. So for a while in middle school I'm like, okay, maybe I'm bisexual. Because I never liked the guy. I pretended to like guys in elementary because they're like, oh, who's your crush, and I'm like, that guy's okay. He plays Pokemon. I like him. He plays Pokemon.
Dang, what was his starter?
His, I don't know, but I think we played Platinum together, Pokemon Platinum.
Ooh, very nice.
Yeah, and we were friends, so that's why I said that I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, anyway, I think because she introduced like the concept to me, like slowly I came to questioning myself in then middle school, and then I started identifying myself as bisexual, then lesbian around 8th grade.
Wow. I can relate on so many levels, Christine. Like, yeah, I didn't think it was an option for me, but I was aware of like gays like existed and all of that, especially because like with like shows and TV and stuff, like my parents didn't really try to like hide it or anything. But for me, it was I think like around like from first to second semester, 8th grade, right? And there was this girl who sat behind me. Very straight. No gays around me, right? I didn't know anything about it. And then I was like, wow, I've never really had like close friends who are girls before. Well, or like at school, right? And like I'm used to having like friends who are girls. But then I was like, oh, maybe we're just becoming like really closer friends, like things like that. And we honestly, looking back on it, we weren't even that close. But then like as it shifted, like the year went on, I was like, oh, like what if we got even closer and closer and closer? What if I was just a guy to like just a random like intrusive thought that was like, oh, if I was a guy, I could be her boyfriend and I would have a crush on her. I'll be like, why am I thinking that? Why am I thinking that? Why is that an option? wait, but I'm a girl. Isn't that just being gay? Wait, what if I'm gay? And I was like, oh, that explains this feeling that I've never felt before. And like how Christine said, whenever there was like the topic of like boys, I was always like this like not girly girl. I didn't like pink, all of that stuff. And I was like, who's the first guy I can think of when someone asks me if there's a cute guy? I'll just say that. But then with the girl who sat behind me, I was like, okay, it's natural. I think I might be gay. I'm not like bisexual. Like I considered it like for like a fat second, but then I was like, nah, nothing felt like that with guys ever before. Like even with the thought, so I was like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
it was easy for me to like to accept it myself. Like I'm gay. 8th grade.
Interesting. So both of y'all essentially came out in like 8th grade, I'm guessing. Or did you like did it take a while for you to like come out to like your friends or something? Did you come out to your friends first or your family first?
Um, it was, I think I took a couple months to be like, are you sure, Christine? Are you really sure? And and then I slowly came out to my two close friends. One of them being the bisexual girl that made me question things. And then they actually became like my my gay group. Because they all turned out to be gay, and I don't have any other really gay friends. And I still kind of talk to them, not as much as now because we all go to different schools. But but yeah, then I slowly came out to my other friends, and then eventually my sister, who was like, "Cool." I'm like, "Okay, thanks," which was nice. But yeah, I first did come out to my friends, and eventually I thought of trying to come out to people at school, but like close friend, like like acquaintances, like
Mm-hmm.
that I do talk on the daily with, who did become my friends later on. But that one was like, ooh, that was scary. So in
Yeah.
freshman, as a freshman in high school, it was I'm like I'm gonna do something different because before that, besides being gay, I thought of like trying to be more open, like as a person, like more like I wanted to take more leadership positions. I wanted to be out there more. So then I thought that this was a way that I could also. So that's why I came out like once randomly in class. But I don't really talk about it much, to be honest. But yeah, that was the one time I randomly came out.
Interesting. And your sister's younger than you, right?
Oh yeah, she's 2 years younger than me. She's a freshman in college now.
Ooh, oh. So when you came out to her, was she just like, I guess, like, I don't know, you're the older sister.
It kind of, it was like it's like, oh, I'm like, yeah. It's like, oh, cool. And then she went back to watching, I think, Vampire Diaries or something.
That's nice. I like how it was really like low key, you know, she didn't really like make a big deal out of it or something.
Oh yeah,
I think that's like nice for people because I feel like sometimes at least from like my friends who like have said things that are like, oh yeah, it's kind of weird like if you say that you're gay and then like everybody's like, oh my god, I never would have thought. Like, I don't know, I feel like sometimes people, a lot of my friends, they just wanted to normalize it, so then they were just like, feels a little awkward to just have to be like constantly introducing yourself to people like that, you know.
oh yeah.
Yeah. So what about you, Deanna? Did you come out to your family or friends first?
TBH, I didn't really have like a group or like a friend that I felt close to because at least like how I grew up was that your close friends already become your family. So because like Filipino parties and stuff like that, it's just all the
Yeah.
Filipinos go
You'd be like,
together.
oh yeah, that's my
But
cousin.
yeah, exactly. But at school, I was like, oh, I don't know anyone like that. So I was just like, okay, I'll keep it to myself. I came out to myself first because I thought that that was the most important.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, that took like a few months. I came out to myself like May, of 8th grade. And I was like, okay, that's fine. I don't have to think about this right now. And I was like about to move to California actually
Mm-hmm.
when this happened. So I was like, I don't need to tell anyone because I'm just gonna leave anyway. But I was like, and if I do, if the friends who want to keep talking to me, maybe they're like the people I'm willing to trust because they want to like stay connected to me. So maybe they're worth like seeing more of like my most genuine self. So then I message them on like Facebook Messenger usually because that was my first social media. Like later on when in the early like stages of me moving to California. But the very, very, very first person I came out to that wasn't myself was my younger sister as well. And it was like I'm cringing thinking about it because I'm a very emotional person. So what I did was
We know that.
I would make playlists on my phone that were like just talking about like being gay and anything that had to do with a rainbow. And then I was listening to it. My house was empty because we were about to move, right? So I was like, where can I listen to this without being disturbed? I opened the closet.
She said,
Wow,
she said, give me my Hannah Montana moment.
Symbolic,
Let
right?
me literally go in the closet.
I literally went so that they could find me because they were just like doing their own thing. And I was like, I'm crying. And then my sister came in and found me. I think I texted her or something, or like I just like called her. I was like, hey, can you come in here, please? Because I was like, I can't take this anymore. Someone's gotta know other than myself. It's too overwhelming. And then she comes in and she's like, why are you crying? Why are you crying now? Because everyone knows that I cry. And like she was pretty mature for her age because we basically like we're 4 years apart, but we grew up like twins. And so I was like, basically, I want to tell you, I'm gay. I was like that. And she was like, it's okay. Like, and then I didn't know that she knew this word. And she's like, gay, like bisexual? And I was like, no, it's not like that. But yeah, just girls. And she's like, oh, it's okay. Like, are you gonna tell mom and dad? I was like, no, not anytime soon. So don't say anything. And the thing is, like, I was like 12 or 13. So that means she was 9 and she was still able to like keep it secret for a while. So I was thankful for that. And then after my younger sister, I told my older sister over like text or messenger, I think, and she was like super okay with it. And she knew that how our parents were too, so she didn't even like bring it up. And then the last to know, like I came out to people in California first before my own parents because it's like, oh, they don't know who I am. So I can just start as if I already knew myself being in California. So I was like, so then whenever they
Clean
brought up
slate.
the thing, yeah.
Yes, I feel that.
Yeah.
That's why I come out in college. No one in high school knows.
Exactly. Yeah.
I know.
Y'all really said, let me reinvent myself. New school, new me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's really nice. I actually didn't know that you did that, Deanna, because like I've known Deanna since she like started high school, right? I've known her since she was a freshman. And I didn't even think anything like I didn't even think anything about like you like and your sexuality or something because like I it's kind of like well known that like a bunch of people on our team were like either gay or bisexual. Like there were a ton of them, especially like in like Deanna's year and the years following her, like there were a ton of them. And so like it was always pretty normalized at like our school for people to just be like, yeah, I'm gay. I don't like it was just like a normal thing. Um but I remember like one time somebody was like, did you know that Deanna they were like, Deanna likes girls. And then I was like, huh? And then I was like, it makes a lot of sense now. because like you never like talked to me that much because like backstory, Deanna was afraid of me for like how many years? Just I don't know. A lot of people tell me this. A lot of people think that I'm intimidating. So Deanna was like, you're just a little bit scary. So I didn't talk to Deanna much until college. So and then like I just remember like if I look at like high school Deanna and how I think about you back then, you're very like quiet and to yourself. And like over the years, I've seen you like open up more and you've opened up to me more. And I like how like once we were like reconnected in college, you were like, yeah, I'm gay. Like you were just like, I like women. Women are so cool. And I thought that was so cute. And I remember seeing you go to like I think you went to Pride with like my cousin, I think. Mm-hmm. 1 year. Yeah. I like you went to Pride with like with like a bunch of people from like your year and like the year below you. And like it was so cute because I was just like, oh, they're just like out here having their own little like happy Pride Month. And I was like, this is so adorable. I love this for her. She looks so happy. And I just think that it's really nice and refreshing to see that like over the years it's been like a good it's been like a good experience for you, at least from like what I could tell. Like you're happy being yourself with around other people. Which brings me to my next thing. Like you kind of both touched on this, but like were people just accepting of you, or were they just like, a little sus, a little sus? Like did like if you had like straight girlfriends specifically, like this is something that I hear a lot, like when straight people have like gay friends of the same like sex, they'll be like, I don't know, did they like me? Like, was there any of that kind of business, or was it just like, yeah, you're pretty cool?
For me, okay.
Because you had
the
your
one
own
thing I
little
didn't
gay
mention was
group.
well, the one thing well, it's only consists of 2 people, so 3 of us.
Hey, that's still a
yeah,
group.
it's still
More
a
than I
group.
had.
I mean, I did only have gay guy friends. I've never had a straight guy friend, but that's a different thing. Until college, but okay.
That's pretty nice though.
Well,
Respects.
yeah, it is. It was weird being friends with with like Erwin and Edmund and Jacob. But anyway, I did come out to my mom freshman year of college. Because I'm never coming out to my dad. But anyway, but yeah.
So that's like years after your whole little like revelation.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's because I had my first girlfriend that summer. I'm like, but we broke up before then. I decided that I had to tell her just because.
Yeah,
because I was kind of sad.
Well, you were just kind of like, well, she'll figure it out anyway. Like, I think parents have that kind of like sixth sense when they know that their kid is like sad or something.
Yeah, so she kept asking me. So at that point, I had to tell her why.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, so I told her, and she was like obviously very confused about it, because I think where I live, it's more of a bubble. But she's also very supportive, even though she wouldn't understand it, and that she wants me to have kids, and like she doesn't know how I'm gonna take care of myself without a man, but but she's still supportive. Because
hey, but let's be real, Christine out here taking care of herself. Period. Period.
But I know that it sounds bad, but I thought of coming out to my parents as like more of a like, if they don't accept me, they'll eventually will. Like I kind of hate the stigma where like they have to always accept me, because in my opinion, family, like this is a big thing. Like they have years and years of like thinking one way, and I'm okay with waiting on my parents, like accepting me slowly. Like they'll eventually get there. It's gonna hurt on both sides, because it's like this thing, and obviously each situation is very different.
Yeah.
But for me, anyway, I was okay with that. That's why I decided like it was time to come up to my mom, because I had to tell her why I was sad at that time. And we did, and in the end, she hugged me, and it was nice. It was like better than I thought. And even though she's like, "How are you gonna get kids for me?" I'm like, "I'll get you dogs." we have like
gonna get another noodle.
Yeah, we're gonna get another noodle. But she's very like our relationship's more fun than I think most parent relationships. Like we make fun of each other and stuff like that. Like we have fun. So I think it's a little different. But for my dad, I don't know when I'll come out to him, because he lives in Florida. Yeah, so I don't know if I will. Maybe want to get married.
Christine's gonna be like,
Hey, my wife.
walk me down the aisle, and your dad's gonna be like, okay, and then he just walks you down the aisle and realizes, hey, wait a minute, there's a woman there.
Yes.
Something about this don't add up. The math is not mathing today.
It is.
Like, why does
It's
Christian
not
have two wedding
mathing.
dresses?
But yeah, I don't think he'll ever figure it out, even if I was very different.
Okay, interesting. What about Deanna? Because I know like you said that like you just kind of came out to people in California as if you had always known this kind of thing. But like, I don't know. Were the people at our school, were they just like, at least in your opinion, were they just like, yeah, this is it
I
kind of
mean,
thing?
I only had one person who I was actually like kind of afraid of, and I think you know the person because I don't want to say any names, but it's the person who had that in school suspension with the threats, and he was on Twitter, and he just like was just tweeting about like really bad things,
Mm-hmm.
but he like I don't know how to like identify it to you, but I think you know. But like he came up to me before, and
Mm-hmm.
then his first like question was like, "Oh hey, how are you? What is like your name? Blah blah blah." And then he's like, "Oh, do you have a boyfriend?" And I was like, "No, sorry, I'm gay," because I was like really like trying to be as open as possible to like be more
Yeah.
comfortable at the time. And then he's like, "Oh, okay." Turns out at the time he was the son of two pastors, was very homophobic, and he's like, "Oh, you seem like a nice person, so I'll befriend you." But I was like, "Okay, maybe it's okay to be friends with this person because he wants me to be his friend." And I was like, I'm a genuinely like, I like to connect with other people. But then like a few months went in, and like every now and then he would be like, "So when did you choose to be this way?" And I was like, "Be what way?" He would be like, like you like girls and stuff, and he would like be touched about the subject. And I was like, "Well, I didn't really choose it. I choose to come out to people just the same way that I chose to come out to him." And he didn't, in that moment, he doesn't realize how like hard it was for me. But then he's like, so then I was just like, "Oh, I'm born how I am." And because I also like am religious too, so I tried to communicate that with him, like, "Oh, it's not that I think it's like, I understand people will say like it's a sin and stuff, but again, like love thy neighbor and things like that." And I would try to like communicate that to him because that was his language at the time, was like religion. And he was like, "Yeah, but you choose to act on it." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, it hurts." So that was
Yeah.
like my first really case of homophobia, like directly, and like more like
When you had to
gradual
like
build up.
face it.
Uh-huh. And it was more in like subtle microaggressions too, where it's like, "Oh, like you wouldn't know, like, because you don't even like guys," things like that, or like it's not even like in a joke way sort of thing.
Yeah.
And it just like subtle things, and then it just I wanted to distance myself from him, and good thing I did, because in later years like he did like
Bunch of bad
bad
stuff.
stuff, but yeah. And then so yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But I'm like so that was your first instance of like like a homophobic person, like
Mhm.
interacting with you. Um I like how you brought up the fact that you are religious, because I think that religion is something that gets really like, it gets really messy when you talk about sexuality and also like culture, because especially like Filipino culture, like I know people who are Filipino and they're gay, and like for a lot of them they're always just like, it's a little hard because they'll be like, my mom is very religious, don't mention anything. And I think that like the people who do like choose to come out to their parents, even like knowing that, I think that's really brave of them, for one. I also think that like it's like, I get why it's a thing, but like you also consider like, when you if you go to the Philippines, there's a lot of gay people there. Like I went to the Philippines and like I went out on the streets, and one of the first people that I saw was like was like a gay man that was trying to hit on my dad. And I was like, I don't know about this one. I don't know about this one. But yeah, I was just like, I don't
Get it,
like
I guess.
oh, Bessie, show us your moves. I think that like it's it's really interesting to see, because on one hand there are like a lot of like people of color who do identify as like LGBTQ, and they're very open about it. but like on the other hand, there's like other parts of like specifically like, you know, like conservative like Asian cultures, like with Filipinos, like they'll be like, I don't know, it's a little different, you know, like they just kind of push it off to the side and kind of act like it's not there. Like if you look at drag queens,
Oh yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know,
yeah.
like have y'all ever seen like RuPaul's Drag Race?
Oh heck yeah.
There's like Manila Luzon, and I forgot the Korean drag queen's name. I think
Which one, Soju or Kimchi?
Kimchi.
There's also
I love.
Angina and Jujubee.
See, Deanna's very cultured in this, clearly. But I think like in recent years I've seen a lot more like representation for like APIs and like the LGBTQ community, and I think that's really nice, especially like with I think one of the things that really stuck out to me was when Eugene Liang like came out and he had a whole like dance like music video kind of thing of his whole coming out story. And I thought that was really interesting because like if you track like his professional career, like in the beginning he's very much like, yeah, I'm straight, I guess. Or he'll just be like, he's like, I'm a equal opportunity employer for everyone, right? Like that's what he used to be like. That was kind of like his MO. But then like once they switched to like the Try Guys, like Second Try, like their new company, he was like, okay, I'm gonna reinvent myself. And then he made his like coming out video. And then if you look at him from there, like you look at his Instagram and you look at all of the work that he's done, it's been a lot more like focused around like his identity as like a gay man. And I think it's like really refreshing too because he's like opened up a lot and like dove into like drag culture too, which I think is like interesting. Like he even like, it's funny to me because he even is like, yeah, it was really hard for me because I grew up in like Texas in like a very conservative part. So he's very like masculine Texan man, but at the same time he's also just like, I do like to be a bit fruity. Let me put on the heels, let me tuck, and you know, get out there and put on a show. And I think that like it is really nice, especially since like he works with like 3 white cis men, you know, like, and they're just like, yeah, that's our boy Eugene. Like it's really nice. But as far as like representation goes, do you think that like it was ever hard for you to like considering like there just isn't much representation in like the media for like especially like lesbian women, because like usually there are like there's usually like a representation of like some sort of gay man, right? Or like they'll make them like the best friend or like comedic relief, but very rarely do I ever see like a gay woman in movies or TV.
Yeah. I have a story for you.
Okay.
Please do tell.
Please go. Yeah.
I don't really do it anymore, but back in high school and middle school a lot, I would scour the internet for TV shows. And if they had one lesbian character, I would watch just catch me watching all of Grey's Anatomy.
Grey's is very good though.
Or really bad TV shows.
Yes.
Like, okay, what is it? Lost Girl. There's a show called Lost Girl, and it's okay. It has mediocre acting, but they had characters that I could relate to, you know, which is what I would do. So then, like the 100, I watched the 100 just because of that. What other things I've watched just because of that? I watched Orphan Black. Orphan Black was actually really good though, but I watched all these TV shows.
We write this down.
These are old TV shows.
Deanna said, let me get a recommendation list. I'm going to put it in the links in the bio.
My dirt jar.
Oh, I watched Legends of Tomorrow and The Arrow just because of one
I love
character.
that show. I like that show like is also like very interesting because a lot of people have talked about like the CW like superhero universe and talked about how like I don't know, people were just like, yeah, it's so refreshing because there's a bunch of characters who are like, I am gay, but then they also have like, there are also like actors who are like, yeah, I'm bisexual, and like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Have y'all seen what was it? Oh my gosh, I'm blanking. It's the one with, it's like the Pose, I think. The
No, but I've heard of it. It's the one with the group of transgender women.
yes.
But I want to watch it.
I only watched like season, I think I watched season 1 and then part of season 2. And I watched it because somebody had recommended it to me. But I thought that show was like really nice because like not only was it like, you know, LGBTQ representation, but there was also it was also people of color, which I thought was interesting because like a lot of the time when I see, you know, like trans and like gay people presented on TV, it's usually like white people. And I think like this also goes into the problem with like model minority. Like a lot of people, you know, tend to just think of like it is like a problem with like the entertainment industry as a whole. Like it's just very white, and there isn't a whole lot of like nuance in like the characters and stuff. But yeah, like Pose is a really good show, and like it also talked about like pretty controversial issues like the AIDS crisis of like the 80s. Like it's a very big part of the storyline. But yeah, if you ever want to watch one, I suggest watching Pose because it's like really good. But yeah, Deanna, what about you and like watching
Representation?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I knew of like, this is like so basic because it's not, again, like the lack of person of color representation. So like Orange is the New Black, L Word, right? That's like the starter kit, I guess you could say.
I actually haven't watched the L Word.
I haven't either, and I don't think I plan on watching it.
I'm gonna insert like a thing, and it's gonna be like Deanna and Christine's lesbian starter pack. And it's gonna be like,
I don't know. I just
couldn't watch it. It's just gonna say like 8th grade, 8th grade, and like Orange is the New Black, and like and then like music and the closet.
But yeah, so like I was like I was just Googling it because I was like, I need to get educated. Let me see. Do I really feel it? I'm gonna watch these clips and see if I can relate. And I would just like watch clips, sometimes not even the whole show, because I was scared like if they found out that I like the show, like they might think I'm fruity, but they didn't know that. I was just like hiding in my iPad, like, okay.
Not the iPad.
And then I was like, wait, because I'm like innocent still, I think. And so like, especially back then, you knew how I was in high school. I was like scared of everything. So I was like, oh, Orange is the New Black is not for kids, because I was like, I am a kid. Well, it is not for kids.
It's very much like, not for kids.
It's not for kids.
No, exactly. It's really, really not. It's really not. So then I was like, what is something I can watch that I think there's nothing. So then I was just like, there's just like little bits and pieces. Like there's the Ellen show, but we don't talk about that anymore. We don't talk about that anymore. So I was like, okay, that's just like reality like shows or whatever. You know. And then if anything, like even now, like I think I internalized the show Steven Universe the most. I'm gonna say that right now. I know, and I didn't finish Adventure Time.
Like I know so many gay people who are just like, I love Steven Universe.
Yes.
There's so many cartoons too.
I've noticed that. And I think a lot of people, like my friends, have been like, you know what? I do love. I forgot her name. I think like Princess Bubblegum from like Adventure Time, and I forgot the like
Marceline.
Yes, they were like, yes, goth girlfriend, and I thought it was so cute. Another show that, you know, kind of also goes into the whole like representation thing, Legend of Korra. Y'all seen Legend of Korra?
Like oh yes, that 1 minute ending.
That 1 minute ending. You know, that 1 minute ending almost like didn't get aired.
Yeah.
Like,
but it broke the internet.
Yeah, Nickelodeon was so like, I don't know if we should put this on there because, you know, they're a little fruity. And there's a lot of kids watching this. But like a lot of
It's
people
okay.
like they're just like, oh man, Asami, she's so powerful. She's so powerful that she got both Mako and Korra. And I was like, you know what? I'm straight, but like Asami, she do be making some points. She be making points.
Yeah, Asami was about to not be a main character too.
What? Nah,
But people loved her so much, so they kept her on.
that character.
At least they
was so
didn't
good.
kill her off or something. Not the bury the gays. The bury your gays trope.
Oh
That's
my-
another thing. Anyways.
That
yeah.
is another thing. Yeah.
They're also coming out. I think supposedly they're making like another like extension into like the Legend of Korra universe kind of thing to like keep extending that storyline of like Korra and Asami. And I was like,
Yeah,
I know
it's a
some
comment. I can
people who
think.
would like this very much. But yeah, that's like another like little thingy. What else? Oh yes, going off of like that, like with a lot of times when you see uh like lesbians and like gay people and like gay men specifically, they always like portray them in very specific like gendered ways, right? So they'll be like, oh yeah, gay men, like you know, like they'll be like, okay,
Queen?
right? They'll be like, oh, queen, very feminine, very like, you know, and then like whenever like it's very rare, but like whenever you would see like a lesbian woman like on the show, they'd be like, oh, are you you know like like they'll be like, are you like a tomboy or something? Like that's, I feel like that's like one of the first things that people ask when they see like somebody that they suspect of being like a lesbian. They'll be like, you are you a tomboy or something like that. But did seeing like representation and stuff, did it ever make you feel like at certain points you were like, maybe I should be more feminine, or maybe I should be more masculine or something like that? Was there ever pressure for that for y'all?
You want to go
You
first?
want to go first?
Can I?
Yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Basically, like, okay, so just to make a long story short, I did want to do the whole like cut my hair short thing, but it's because like you know how like most girls anyways, like at least from what I know, like whenever like there's a big change in your life, they just, oh, I want to cut my hair, you know?
Wait a
And
minute.
I've had
The lesbian Asian streaks.
no, I just meant like I didn't want it to be like a pixie boy cut. I just wanted it to be like short, right?
Like a
But
bob.
then when I brought it up, then it kind of like honestly, it kind of like worried my parents, mostly my mom, because she thought that it was because of that. But so then I tried to work my way around it. I was like, no, I'm gonna donate my hair, and I'll cut it short. And then
Said, loophole.
it just felt really freeing to know that like I it's not like the short boy cut, but it's still short to me. And then I was like, that's I guess like for some people is like balance of like feminine and masculine, because that's really what coming out to me like was, is just like being more open myself, is like you can be either or one more than the other. And
Yeah.
so like in my clothes I changed that, and then I was like, okay, should my demeanor be different? But I was like, it just took time for me to know that there's a balance, because like I think if my personality is like feminine, but I might not be as feminine as some girls, but femininity is just what I make it, you know,
Yeah.
because it's just, you know.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people assume that there's just like one way to be feminine. And this also goes back, like, did y'all know that like it wasn't until like after the Holocaust or something that people started being like, pink is for girls
Mhm.
and blue is for boys.
Yeah.
And like I was like telling my friends, I was like, yeah, I always like I was like, I don't know, for some reason I was just like vehemently like, and like I hated pink growing up,
Same.
because I was like, man, these girly girls, too much Barbie and Sanrio, and I hate it. And I was just like so like I love Sanrio, but then I was just like, I don't want people to think that I'm too girly. So
Same.
then yeah, and like I don't know, it's just like a whole lot of issues when like people assume you're one way because of how you act or something like that. And I think that's something that I've seen like kids get like over time. I think like I've seen younger kids especially like become more like, okay, whatever, let's just play, let's just have friends. And I think that's cute. Like I don't know, let kids be kids, let kids have
Yes.
fun.
Yep.
Don't try to box them in, you know. Christine, what about you? Did you ever be like, man, I should probably wear some dresses, maybe wear some light colors, whatever?
I think my life is kind of like two different things because right now I do like the median between like more feminine. Like I don't like to wear dresses. I don't know how to do makeup, but makeup's nice. And I love crop tops. You know, like that's my style now, kind of thing. But then back then, I was definitely more tomboy, quote unquote. And then when I found out I was gay, I'm like, maybe I should dress like a lumberjack.
Oh my god, no, the flannel.
She
The
said
flannel.
flannels.
Okay, don't worry. I got rid of all those
cuff
flannels.
jeans, cuff
Girl, should have given to me. I still wear flannel. It's just
I
soft,
wore-
okay? I swear.
I wear so many flannels,
Bring
but
out
I
the
realized
plaid.
that I don't know. I don't
Bring
know.
out the plaid, bring out the gingham, bring out the
Birkenstocks.
button ups,
Yeah,
bring
I
out
used
the
to wear.
snapbacks.
Oh God, snapbacks.
If y'all look at Christine's spotlight, there's a picture of her wearing a snapback in there too, I swear.
There are multiple pictures of me wearing snapbacks because that was my style.
And a flannel, and you're just like,
The way I bought snapbacks when I was in the closet because I thought it would give out clues.
Deanna said, let me give out a little breadcrumb trail of gayness for y'all to figure out.
Yeah, I used to have like 10 flannels. Now I have one flannel that I like to wear sometimes. But yeah, I used to.
And she likes to reminisce.
I used back then. I used to like the guy stuff. I used to like blue, like quote unquote guy stuff, gendered stuff. But yeah, my dad wasn't really into that. Like, I got a Game Boy, but I wanted Pokemon Yellow. But you know what he got me? Polly Pocket. Well,
Hey,
yeah,
them
but
Polly
I'm
Pocket
over
clothes, they be tasting different. A little cute snack.
But yeah, I like he was like, oh, in Vietnamese, he was like, you're a girl, you should be a girl. Why are you trying to act like a guy? And then obviously that's his way of thinking. And now it's different since I have a lot more control over myself and like what I can wear and what I can do. And me not dressing up more masculine now doesn't like reflect that, obviously. That it really changed me in that way. I just like wearing it now. But um I did struggle with like that median in like how masculine should I be, because now I'm identifying like this, or like should I be more feminine? I don't really like feminine stuff. But then like I think as you like go through life, you find your style, quote unquote. Like I just like you just like adventure more, because I think I was more comfortable at the time. The reason why I changed my style is that I wasn't the whole different story was like I wasn't comfortable with how I looked in like girly clothes. But then eventually I found like a style that I liked. It was like a median between like quote unquote tomboy and like very feminine look. And you know, I think people just develop what they want to dress like, or like what they are like you can do pixie cuts if you want. You can paint your nails if you want. It's just up to them. You just have to find where you are.
Your hair if you want. Looking at both now with the hair dye.
Oh my gosh, the hair dye! I forgot.
Deanna said, "Let me get purple highlights and be like the Asian cartoon."
Oh, Deanna.
The Goku topic.
But anyways, yeah, I think I really like how both of y'all, like, from what y'all have said today, it was, you know, very like, it was natural for y'all to like come out to like your friends eventually, you know, because like one of the things that like I was looking on like the Trevor Project website, and one of the things that was there was that like AAPI youth are significantly less likely to share their LGBTQ identity with their parents as opposed to like non-AAPI LGBTQ youth, and but also like contrasted with that, most of the AAPI like LGBTQ youth, they're accepted by their friends, and that acceptance reduced the risk of like attempted suicide by half. So I think, you know, the more we normalize, you know, the more we normalize like being part of the LGBTQ community, I feel like that just makes it everything like better for people as a whole. Like normalize saying your pronouns, and like it doesn't matter if you ask people, like don't, like it's not a big deal to ask, like don't make it a huge deal to be like, hey, do you like girls, or hey, do you like boys? Like that's, at this point, just let people be who they are, right?
Yes.
And I think that's like the main takeaway that I would like people to get from this. But final points. I just wanted to ask, what advice do you have for AAPIs who are still in the closet, or even just like in general, anybody who's still in the closet and is like struggling to grasp, their identity and like, navigate that?
I think you shouldn't stress coming out, even though like TV shows, like especially in America, are like coming out is like the biggest thing in the world. But it's
Jojo Siwa.
I mean, I love her for that.
Do you listen
Do you
to
listen to
JoJo?
Jojo Siwa?
I don't. Oh gosh.
Anyways.
But yeah, it doesn't have to be the biggest thing like
in your life.
in the world. Yeah, it doesn't have to be. And especially if you're not in a space or place to even come out. And which is why I haven't come out to my dad. And like, I think for specifically AAPI identifying LGBT like people, it's especially hard because of like our, customs of like family and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're more, like involved with them. So sometimes like, you don't have to come out to everyone. You can just come out to the people that will accept you. It's safe for them and it's safe for you, like there's a documentary I was watching about like this gay Asian guy who was married in the States, but he had family in China who like didn't know that he was gay, or like they had a child too, but he came out only to his parents, but he didn't come out to his grandparents. And I thought that was very interesting because it's not like aligned with like the individualistic like outlook of what America is like coming out to everyone. It's like important, it's you. But I think for API, it's like okay not to come out to some people in your family, like especially if it's about your family, about them and their side. And it's okay. Like you just have to like understand that
take
like
things at your own pace.
Yeah, just it's for you and it's for them. So just do what you will with that.
Very nice. Deanna, final thoughts?
I guess just to be more generalized, like, yeah, like you don't like coming out is your thing. Like that's I guess one of the unique things about being in the LGBTQ plus thing is that you'll always have that like little like that's your moment. So make it how you will. And like just remember to do it when you feel safe and ready and how you want to do it. Like if you want to bake a cake, if you want to blast Lady Gaga eating Oreos while doing it, or just
Chromatica.
like bring your significant other home and be like, oh yeah, this is how it is. Like however you want to do it, as long as it's yours, you make it yours.
Yes, walk down the aisle.
Yeah, walk down the aisle.
Something's not mapping.
And just it's like it's as simple as that. It's your moment, and remember that like even though you may not see it and it seems like you're in like the lowest place in the world, remember there's still like sorry, it's like you're not alone. Like it's just as cliche as possible, but it's true. Like Trevor Project says, it gets better, and over time you'll just come into your own, and it's one of the best feelings in the world, and you can choose when you want to do that, and it just feels so much freer and so much lighter, and like you just can breathe. So yeah.
Well, you heard it here, folks. This has been the first episode of Act Up for the semester. Anything you would like to plug, Deanna? Hint, hint, dirt.
Please recommend things to my dirt jar, and I will put your name. It's into my newsletter segment. It's really good.
The things in the dirt jar. Yeah, final reminder, hydrate, mask up. If you have meds, take your meds. And, hope you enjoyed this podcast. This has been Act Up, because, we all got to act up sometimes, baby. Bye.